welcome to this Printers Plan tutorial video where we will be covering the difficulty table in Printers Plan. This is sort of a companion video to our paper waste video, so if you have more questions on how paper waste is calculated in Printers Plan, I suggest you go watch that, and that should answer any questions that you have. So starting off here, I'm going to open a job or a quote that I have here, and I'm going to click into my small press service here. I'm going to click in this margin to open the service. And now that I have my press service open here, in the left hand side I have access to the difficulty table here. And this option is available for your offset presses and your digital printers. If I click into this difficulty table, there's a body of text up at the top here that gives me some information on what these tables below are doing here and how to use them. Starting from the left hand side, we have first our paper difficulty table, where this table is unique to this specific printer, and the way we can use this is we're going to reference our global waste table, and whatever paper is assigned on that table, we're going to reference that row, and we'll be able to add a more specific waste to this printer, where the global waste table is a more generalized approach to waste. So if my paper material is referencing waste table row 1, and I want this particular printer to treat that paper differently, I will update the values for waste table row 1. The waste table value and the difficulty row here are intrinsically connected. So on top of that waste that I'm already calculating, if I need to add additional waste, here in these rows here, or in this row in these columns, I can add additional time in the form of minutes per plate, setup time. I can reduce the speed of my printer for this particular material by a percentage. I can add waste in setup sheets, or I can add waste in percentages of impressions. And I have 19 rows that I can use here. Each one can correspond to a different row on the waste table. Over here in the main body of the area here, I have the job difficulty table, where I have some different forms of difficulty I can add depending on the settings of the job itself. So I have difficulty added based on the run size, and the options here I have smallest, smaller than, largest, coverage, and registration, and in those options I have normal plus, medium plus, and difficult. And then I have bleeds, any side, print, both sides, and then at the very bottom here I have the job difficulty limits. So what these fields are doing is in this first row here for the run size, I'm setting a run size area, and that's in square inches. So if I wanted to add a difficulty for a particular size, I would first enter the number in here, and I would then be able to have the job automatically recognize that run size and add the waste or reduce the time as needed. So the first thing I typically suggest starting off with in the difficulty table and the job difficulty table is to enter in your smallest and your largest sizes that the machine can run. And this will be in square inches. And then the program knows if it's using this printer and a certain material, if it's outside of those dimensions, it'll give you a notification saying that is the case and that you need to select a new material. And once we have those in here, we can also add the difficulty for those. So if we're selecting those sizes, then we'll need to add in the additional time and reduce the speed or add the waste that we need. And then we can also on our printer identify certain points on our printer where if we're running a size smaller than this or a size larger than this, we need to affect our printer in the following ways. We need to add time, we need to reduce speed, or add waste. These options, coverage, registration, bleeds, and print, those are all selectable in the paper specs window along with the run size. So these are all the options that you're going to be selecting just when you're creating your order, and then the printer is going to know how to treat that. At the very bottom here, each row has a waste limit, so if you're not trying to exceed a reduction in speed of 50%, you can do that down here. On the far right, we have the smallest table, and the easiest to read here is the speed adjustment, where at larger run quantities, and this is per pass, so this is meant for offset presses, we can increase the speed of production. Or if we type in a negative number there, we can decrease the speed. So filling all this information in typically starts with just the the limits of your machine, and then you can do some testing and fill in the rest as you go. And anytime we have a job that is using the difficulty table, we can view that information by checking in our edit cost window, highlight our press, and click on quantity detail. And in here you'll get a full breakdown of all the paper specs, how this job is being treated, the job difficulties, and everything. So if you're not clear on what's being done or how it's being treated, then you can check here. If you need further help, you can reach out to our support team, support@printreach.com, or visit our knowledge base at support.printreach.com. Thank you.